If you can land a top 5 tight end, because that's usually where the difference makers are. And then there's another echelon. There's top 2. There's Travis Kelce, there's Mark Andrews, and then there's everybody else. Darren Waller was there for a couple seasons. Haven't seen it the last 2 seasons. Hopefully he can make it back. But right now, we're waiting for another person to be added to that echelon. And we all thought it was going to be Kyle Pitts. But there's another. And this man's name is David Njoku, a first-round talent. Very hyped up coming out of college. A physical specimen. Big old tall dude. Speed. Can jump. Got good hands. Been waiting for years for this man to come out and start performing. But he had sus quarterback play. Baker Mayfield, as we've seen now in Carolina in the last couple years, has been holding the development of this man back. Now, the Browns, for some reason, after like a season where he did not put up great numbers, re-signed this man to a very healthy contract for 4 years. So they said, no, this guy's going to be a part of our future. And we're seeing that production this year. David Njoku has now moved into the second receiving spot beneath Amari Cooper in that offense. He's warmed up to Huntley. And I'll tell you what, so he's already like the 8th tight end now. Last 3 games, he's had 20 receptions for over 200 yards and I believe 2 touchdowns. So David Njoku, this is a guy that he's available in some leagues still because people aren't sure that it's going to be consistent because he's usually been a hit one big game, then he goes back to normal because they use him for blocking a lot. But now his receiving skills are undeniable. He's part of the offense. He's become one of Huntley's favorite targets. And you can use him as a top tight end, but when Deshaun Watson comes back in week 11, let me tell you something about Deshaun Watson. This is a little trick I've done in my 16-team league for the past few years. I've grabbed the Texans tight ends because Deshaun Watson loves big bodies in the red zone. 2020, he has 6 TDs to 3 different tight ends. 2019, he had 9 TDs to 2 different tight ends. And none of them have half the talent as David Njoku. We're talking about Walt Aikens, David Fells, guys that just weren't even on the radar of fantasy. He looks for those big bodies when he's scrambling around, and David Njoku could turn into a top 3 fantasy tight end target. If he's on someone else's team right now, go get him. Because when week 11 hits and Deshaun Watson's there and he's running around for his life, knocking off the rust, he's going to be looking for that big body in the red zone. So if you can get a top 3 tight end going into the fantasy playoffs, that is the definition of a league winner.